There will never be a budget guitar made in the USA. Hey everybody, Jace Allen here. Welcome back to the channel. So with all the talk of tariffs and all the stuff that's going on when it comes to guitars, I've come to the conclusion that there will never be a budget guitar brand made in the US. Now, what do I consider to be a budget guitar? Well, to me, a budget guitar is $500 or less. Ideally in the $200 to $250 range. A lot of the guitars that I reviewed last year were $200 and below. Some of them were $150. Some of them were less than $100. Some of the sub $100 guitars were pretty bad. Every once in a while you'd get sort of a diamond in the rough, and you'd be pleasantly surprised when you spent less than $100 and got a guitar that was really good. And of course, controversy continues over Chinese versus American made or whatnot. So the whole atmosphere around Chinese made and all that stuff is really sort of completely turning political. I won't get into that, but the fact remains that most budget guitar brands are made in China. More are being made in like Vietnam and Korea and places like that. Japan also makes guitars, although maybe not in the budget category. So, will there ever be a budget guitar manufactured here in the US? Well, I don't think so. I think that if it were possible to build a budget guitar in the United States, that companies would have already done so. Anytime a company like Fender or Gibson wanted to make a guitar that was, more affordable than their, than their Gibson and Fender brands, they moved operations, overseas, or, as in the case of Fender, they started manufacturing in Mexico. Well, costs in Mexico have, steadily gone up, and labor in Mexico isn't nearly as cheap as labor in China. So you have the Mexican strats that are starting to get, pretty close to the $1,000 mark. I mean, you even have Epiphones now that are, close to and well over $1,000, and those guitars are made overseas. So I think what sets the American-made guitars apart from the foreign guitars is simply labor. Labor rates in this country are a lot higher than they are in, say, Mexico or China. And so I think it would be very difficult for companies to be profitable and make a guitar here in the United States. Maybe a smaller builder could do it. I kind of ran some of my own numbers, just like the body blanks for a guitar, the wood for a body, and we're talking like ash or alder or a cheaper, quote unquote cheaper wood, not mahogany or something like that, no flame maple top. We're talking just Stratocaster style guitars. You're talking maybe $30 to $50 for the blank. You're talking maybe an additional $25 for the headstock, for the neck, which is maple. And if you put Indian laurel or any kind of other wood, especially if you use rosewood, that's going to raise the price. Stainless steel frets, I got to assume stainless steel is more than nickel. So if you're building a guitar with stainless steel frets, the cost is going to go up. And then, and now, because of all the crap that's going on in the tariffs, because I kind of researched what it would take to build a guitar completely made in the U.S. And I think there's only one manufacturer of guitar tuning keys, tuner hardware in the U.S., and that's Spurzl. And I don't even know if because you used to be able to get their stuff on Amazon and things like that, but I think what they're doing is made to order now, and they're like $200 for a set of tuners. So I mean, and you could probably get them wholesale, but you'd probably have to work out a deal with them where you where you bought quite a considerable quantity to drive the price down. And then things like pick guards, I don't know if any of that stuff can be made here or is made here. You could cast your own bridges and saddles and things like that. That's just metal casting. But who does it? You'd have to basically develop all this stuff from scratch to be able to build this stuff. You'd have to have hydraulic presses and things like that to stamp out bridges and jack cups and things like that. And then screws. I mean, who the hell makes screws? It's like, where are they made? They're probably all made overseas, probably all made in China. And plastic components too. I mean, you know, you could probably recycle plastic somehow and then cast your own knobs and switch the little cap on the switch, things like that. But then switches, pots, CTS, I don't even think CTS pots are made in the United States. Switchcraft makes switches and the 1/4-inch jacks. I can't remember. I think they're made in the U.S. But it's like, it's really hard to find information, because if you go, I mean, try it sometime. Google, you know, all the different components that a guitar is made from, and then, you know, Google, you know, guitar tuning keys made in the U.S. And you'll find a few brands, but then one of them, I think, because there's Man-Made or something like that. I forget what it's called. Let me see if I can find this out. So, yeah, there's Spurzl and then Hipshot. Hipshot used to make them here. I think they still do, but they're weird. It's like, it's not a traditional tuner. It's the string goes down through it in the back, the way it, I mean, you'd have to Google it to see what it looks like, but they're not a traditional tuner, and they're not cheap either. And then there's one more, yeah, Man-Made, MANNMADE. They supposedly make guitar tuners in the US, but I can't find anything definite that says that they do. I think they just import stuff in, and they're a U.S. company. I don't know. It's really hard to find information out about these things. And then once let's see, what is it? Is it Waverly or Schaller? I mean, there's Go-To, Schaller, Waverly. There's all these different companies. I think there's a couple located in Germany, but there used to be some in the U.S. that eventually moved out of the U.S. So, and companies get bought all the time. So it's really, really hard to find, you know, USA made parts. And then the only place I know of in the U.S. that is manufacturing fret wire is Jescar. And so you got one supplier for fret wire, 1 or 2 suppliers for tuners. So not a lot of competition, so that means prices are going to be whatever they decide to set them at. Domestic wood is pretty easy to come by. Ash, alder, black walnut, all that stuff, you know, is available domestically. Prices of lumber is going up. It's been going up. It's steadily risen over the decades because you know, wood is getting harder to come by. Some of the good wood. And I know we had the emerald ash borer here in Michigan. I mean, I'm sure it's all over the country, but here in Michigan, it really devastated all the ash trees. We used to live quite a ways north of where we do now, and we had acreage that had ash trees on it. Matter of fact, there's a really nice ash tree next to our house. And we were only at that house, I think we only lived there 4 or 5 years. And within that 4 or 5 year time span, we had to have those 2 really nice looking mature ash trees next to the house cut down because they had not a disease, it's a bug, emerald ash borer. It's like a worm. And then all the ash trees out in our woods all got it too. And so, you know, it's it's been devastating. So, so there's, you know, there's a lot that goes into a guitar, and a lot of time. I mean, I've built a few guitars. I hand built a Telecaster one time, and that was before I got my CNC. I mean, I did use a router and bandsaw and things like that, but it's pretty time consuming. And there's a lot of, and then when I was down to Heritage Guitars, you know, I think they employ like 50 people. They're a smaller company. Their guitars are, you know, north of $2,500. That's for the standard model, or the, you know, the basic model. Their custom ones are a lot more than that. So why am I talking about all this? Well, I got a new guitar from Tease. Tease Guitars. Tease is an American company, but they import their guitars from China. They're doing their best to work with their suppliers to try to keep costs down despite the rise in costs due to tariffs. And so, you know, they're selling a budget guitar that, you know, is available through a U.S. company. You have U.S. support. If you have a problem with your guitar, you call up Torsten, and he takes care of it. He's the owner of the company, and the guitars come to them. They got a handful of people that do QC on them and check them all out and make sure that they're up to snuff, and then they ship them to you, the customer. So I think that is probably the only way we're going to see, you know, U.S. companies providing, not saying making or manufacturing, but providing budget guitars, you know, for people in the U.S. So he sent me their new and improved ST1 SPR in Boomer Blue. And these retail for $179. So that's a pretty good price. That's right around, I mean, that's even better than the Firefly guitars. And they've made some great improvements to this. They're now poplar bodies instead of basswood. So I have the guitar right here, so let's check it out. Okay, here we go. So this is the guitar. Torsten wanted me to remind everybody that these are right now in pre-order. And they, looks like they're, so if you order one now, you'll get it around June 1st. So about a month. So that's not bad. And it looks like he ordered 25 of these. And he says setups will be done in the order of pre-order purchase date. So I'm assuming this is one of their prototypes or samples that they get from the suppliers. So I don't know what happened to my knife. I'll use scissors. So let's check this out. Now, I just reviewed one of the Telecaster style guitars. That was basswood. I'm really starting to change my mind about basswood. My band and I practiced last Saturday, and I took my Heritage H150, which is a Les Paul style guitar, and it weighs 10 pounds. And by the end of practice, I think we played for about 3.5 hours, and I was wrecked. My legs and back and everything hurt so bad from holding this 10-pound guitar. So now I know why they make, you know, 6-7 pound guitars. So, all right, comes in a gig bag. This is just a plain gig bag. It's not anything fancy. It's not real pad. Actually, it's not padded at all. It's just a bag. I don't get too worked up about gig bags anymore. I mean, you know, I think they're useful for shipping because then your guitar doesn't get damaged. But I've got some decent gig bags. And once you have a good, decent gig bag, it's like, you know, most of my guitars hang on the wall. I only use a gig bag when I take it to practice. So, all right, there it is. Ooh, nice color. That's pretty. That looks like the what do you call it? The Area Pro 2 that I just reviewed. Okay, so we got nice maple neck. Okay, wow, cool. So it's got some comfort cutouts here. You got a nice cutout here. It's the sort of curved neck plate there. So you can get up into the upper frets. That's nice. Wow, this neck is beautiful. I don't know if you can see the colors in it. This is really nice neck. Looks like it's flat sawn, but it's really, really pretty. It's got really nice grain on it. It's really clean too. It doesn't have any knots or anything. I like their headstock. Their headstock, it actually isn't terrible. I mean, I think it's better than the Firefly. I don't like theirs. I don't like the ones with the hook on them. You know, you have to be careful you don't get sued. But let's see. It's a Strat. What can I say about it? It's a Strat. Tuning keys look nice. This would be a bone nut, I think. Let's check out the specs here on their website. Full thickness swimming pool routed body. Poplar. Contoured sculpted heel. Stainless ball end frets. And yes, they are. They're really nice looking. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. There we go. Tease, new Tease exclusive 18-to-1 tuners. These are pretty nice looking tuners. Bone nut, that's what we said that. 22 frets. Barrel string trees, so those are nice. A little barrel string tree there. That's nice. Way better looking than the flat little pieces of... Oh, I like their logo's different too. Yeah, they changed their logo. That's nice looking. I actually like that better than the old one. Tease. Let's see what else. Tuning machines, bone nut, barrel string, 6 saddle trim. So just a traditional Strat tremolo. Single. Says wax potted. Dime size pots. 250K ohms with a 0.022 cap capacitor. Mounted to a shielded vintage 8-hole 3-ply pickguard, 12-inch neck radius, or fretboard radius, sorry. Maple neck, slightly satin finished. It's a nice finish. It's smooth too. This thing is smooth. Maple fretboard. Says that its 12th fret is set to 1.75 on the string height. Everything should be intonated properly. Polished frets. Neck relief is set. Playability and tone of this guitar is astonishing. Sequential serial numbers, that's kind of neat. And it comes with number 5 strings. And tremolo bar. This is the screw-in style trem bar, which I don't use very often because I pretty much suck at it. And let's see if I can even get this in here. It's hard to do it with one hand. There we go. And these are cast saddles, not bent steel. And if you want in-house setup, it's an additional $50. Okay, so enough yapping. Let's plug it in and see how it sounds. Okay, so we'll tune it up and we'll check the intonation and see how that... Ooh, nice neck. Let's check the intonation. Yeah. Oop, that G is off, but that might be because the G is off. There we go. Perfect. Yeah. Intonation is great. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Sweet. Very nice looking. Black fret dots, if I didn't mention that. Two-way truss rod, I'm assuming. The strap buttons are, they're okay. They're a little, you know. And then the block is looks like not a full-size block. But then this is a full thickness body too. I think I mentioned that already, but yeah, full thickness body. So let's put this on a clean. Man, sounds good. That was the bridge. Turn that up a little bit. This would be bridge in middle. And the middle. Middle and neck. And the neck. Wow. Classic strat tone there. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I'm not going to do a deep dive on this, probably for this this video. Maybe I'll do a deep dive on it later. I mean, it's, you know, it's, I got to the point where it's like, it's a guitar. It's, you know, it sounds good. It's really, really sounds good. I don't think these are Alnico. Did it say Alnico? So it's like, I don't know, you take them apart and it's like, yeah, they look like every other guitar inside. I mean, he's got the, Torsten's got all the specs on the website. Maybe I'll do a deep dive later, but I wanted to get this video out, so it's already getting long, so maybe I'll do a deep dive on it at a later date. Yeah, Boomer Blue, and let us see, did it say Tease exclusive wax single ceramic pickups? So, but they're wax potted, so they shouldn't be microphonic. And I don't know, the whole thing with Alnico and that, I don't know. Whatever. I mean, it sounds amazing, so who cares what the hell the magnets are made out of or what they are? You know, we get so caught up as guitar players, we get so caught up in all these little details that really don't have anything to do with, you know, how a guitar sounds. I mean, this thing is amazing. It's made really well. There's no flaws. you know. But again, made on a CNC machine probably. Quality wood. I mean, the neck is amazing. The neck is beautiful. It's got some really pretty figuring in it. Perfect frets. I mean, the neck is perfect. Action is set up. I mean, I don't know. I think Torsen ought to raise his prices. You know, because I think the let's see, okay, yeah, let's talk about that real quick. This is the maybe I should do like a shootout between these, but in a separate video. This is the Area Pro 2. Well, it's got might be a rosewood fretboard. Basswood. This thing actually feels heavier than the Tease guitar. Pretty much the same color. I think the areas go for $229. I think they're pretty expensive as far as Area Pro 2 STG003. No, that one's $189. I don't know if that's brand new though. They're hard to find. They're not. You got to go to what do you call it? Reverb to get them. So yeah, so they're about the same price. They're $189, but yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know. Like Jet, I mean, I think Jets aren't some of the Jets over 200. You know, I know the Firefly there. My wife got me that for Christmas a couple years ago. I think that for a while they were $229, but I think she got it on a Black Friday type deal, and that was I think $189 or something. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think this is every bit as good as the Firefly, if not better. I mean, the Firefly's got locking tuners and alder body, and I think that one's got a rosewood fretboard and the abalone inlays and stuff like that. So they're throwing like the little details in it that make it look higher end. But as far as, and they have El Nico pickups too. So, you know, but man, I don't know. Great looking guitar, great sounding guitar. Let's throw some dirt on it real quick and play a lead. I can't play too much recognizable stuff because then YouTube won't let me monetize it. So if anybody's curious about why I never play anything that's recognizable, that's why. Because as soon as you play more than 2 or 3 notes of a song, then YouTube goes, "Oh, we're not gonna let you make any money from that video." So anyway, that's why I don't play riffs from songs that are recognizable. And I'm not a Shredmeister, so I just play the pentatonic scale and then everybody in the comments complains about how lousy a guitar player I am, but it's like whatever. Still sounds like it's a little out of tune. And that's another thing, I get criticized all the time about being out of tune, but it's like, dude, I just pulled this thing out of the box, tuned it up and started playing it, so what do you want? It's gonna be out of tune. So, yeah. I am not a finesse player. So anyway, that is the Tease, the new Tease ST1 SPR. I have no idea what SPR means, but ST is for Strat, Stratocaster style. Don't call it a Stratocaster. you'll get beat up in the comments. So check these out. They are great. Torsten is an awesome individual. He's, you know, it's a U.S. company. He's over there in New York, and they import these and they, you know, run through to make sure the quality is good, and then they ship them out. So closest thing you're going to get to a budget guitar made in the USA. So anyway, I'm Jace Allen. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time.